all the things I'm about to show you don't matter unless you have it installed. Like, spoiler alert, right? So what I'm going to do real quick is we're going to go ahead and launch a browser window. You guys should be able to see this. Oops, real quick. And the very first thing you need to do, if you haven't yet gone to, is we're going to go to account.ninjatrader.com/register. And so I'm going to post this in our chat group real quick, so you guys all have a link to that. Account.ninjatrader.com/register. And it is free to register the account. You do not need to create a brokerage account. You don't need to set up an account. There's a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to go through here real quick with you all. And I will tell you that there's a lot of cool stuff. And I called a few of you today. You accepted my call. And I will tell you that as of right now, you can still run funded accounts on NinjaTrader today. And we don't have our own push button trading branded funded account just yet, but part of why we used NinjaTrader and chose NinjaTrader was a few things. One is it supports a lot of traditional brokers, right? So traditional brokers like TD Ameritrade, like Interactive Brokers. As you guys all know, TD Ameritrade is being absorbed by Schwab. So I got an email today, somewhere April and May. I've got like 4 or 5 accounts with them still are being merged into Schwab. So Interactive Brokers is a massive, massive company. They are publicly traded as well. So hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. It is out there. And we do have the ability to allow funded accounts as well. So not only does it work with traditional brokers, but it works with about a dozen different funded accounts, which is super exciting. My favorite one that I found so far, I've not gone through everyone, is called Blue. It's not Blue Sky, it's Blusky. So Blue Sky without the E, Blusky. Nope, this is not it. Blue Ski funded. Blue. Why am I not finding it? Well, apparently you need to use Google. This is the great thing about Microsoft Edge is you can go to Google. Let's see, Blusky funded account. There we go. Blusky funded accounts. There you go. Oh, it's .pro. Okay. So I'm going to throw this into our chat as well. And there's a little bit of differences, some things you guys need to know about funded accounts. Of course, we're going to jump into MetaTrader here in NinjaTrader here in just a minute. And one of the things is that a lot of you guys who were using and relying on funded accounts, the ability to use and trade a funded account with stocks is no more. That's not a Matt DeLong thing. That's not anybody thing. That's just it's not available across the board. So that option is kind of gone away. It's become extinct as of right now. Okay. Now you guys will also recognize normally in a company like this, like Blusky without the E, there is a 100K account here. And normally, right, like real life trading, push button trading, we all offered this for $1,000. That's the normal price to get into this. And what this is saying is that it's actually not $1,000. It's actually $232 for your first 30 days. So what does that mean? Instead of a one-time fee of $1,000, there is a monthly fee. Now, I asked and kicked and threw elbows and got to the bottom of why are there monthly fees for these futures type funded accounts? And the answer is very simple. Number one, data is not free. So the real-time quotes, the data feeds are not free, and they require an ongoing monthly cost. And in order to do that, they got to collect an ongoing monthly fee. Does that make sense? So here in a minute, we'll go through some more of these options. Harold, if you have the spreadsheet handy, we'll get that in just a few minutes. But at the end of the day, you guys can all sign up we do not have a push button trading branded funded account just yet, but we do have quite a few that some of you I know have used Apex. Some of you have used Top Step, Blusky, quite a few others that are out there that work with NinjaTrader 8. Now, part of the requirement here of why we chose NinjaTrader 8 was number one, it does work with traditional brokers. I see some familiar faces here that we used to work with. Certain DJs that are here that we used to, that maybe aren't super huge fans of funded accounts. I get it, but guess what? NinjaTrader 8 works with your traditional accounts and funded accounts. So take your pick, whichever one you want. If you hate funded accounts, use your traditional account. If you don't have capital in a traditional account, then use a funded account. There's lots of options. And so the idea here is, number one, it does work with funded accounts. Number two, it does work with automation. So NinjaTrader does work with automation, and it does allow us to run what? Our technology, our push button trading, the automated bots, all of that. And by the way, we have restarted our teaching our push button trading class as of March. So we're not yet got all the bots ready to go to run a class. So we are a little bit delayed on the fully automated bots. We have lots of conversations. Tracy Ball and I are on top of those guys pretty much every day, trying to get some updates and see how that's going, get them unstuck when they have questions about how things work. Now, for those of you who came here from another company that we maybe used to work with, hypothetically, we do have some updates and some other things that we'll talk about later on. But at the end of the day, this does require us to rebuild all the technology from scratch. It's not your fault. It's not our fault. We're just here now, right? So thank you for everyone's patience as we work through this. But what I want to do today is kind of walk through NinjaTrader with you all so that you all have an idea of how it works and some of the basics of how it all functions. Again, there are many benefits and some things that we didn't necessarily have with MetaTrader. Like MetaTrader 5 didn't typically work with, like traditional brokers, right? It was all CFDs. And so it's my opinion that CFDs, if that's still a problem for US traders, switching to another platform isn't necessarily solve our issue, so to speak. It does just kind of create some interesting challenges that have to be resolved again in the future. And so we chose to switch, like, let's do away with the web-based DX trader, which, by the way, does not support any kind of bots or any kind of automation. And as you all know, we had roughly 24 hours of notice. This is 2 weeks ago, where our funded account partner kind of pushed us into a solution that we came and use our own technology, right? And so that's the thing that was very surprising, very alarming, little to no notice, but we're here now, right? Looking forward. Not gonna spend too much time looking backwards. But in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and launch our, register here and set up an account. And I will tell you that on the next page, there is a 14-day free trial. So if you have a 14-day free trial, you can sign up for that, and it gives you the data feed. You don't have to put a credit card or anything. I think it does ask for your phone number, something minimal there as well. So yeah, I think it's pretty interesting option. All righty, so let's do this. Sorry, I muted a few of you. So once you set up a NinjaTrader account, once you go ahead and go to the next screen and download it, go ahead. It does run on Windows. So those of you who are Macs like myself, you do have to run Parallels. I'm not aware of a Mac version. You do not want the WebTrader, as again, the WebTrader does not support the bots and the technology that we're going to talk about and that we're building. So just keep that in mind. Again, the downloadable version has to live on your desktop. It's not a Google Chrome URL you go to. It's not a Microsoft Edge URL that you go to. It's just it's a downloadable icon that lives on your desktop. The tool itself lives on your desktop. Okay. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to shift over here, and I do already have a few things loaded for you guys ready to go. And I'm going to show you a couple of the very, very important highlights for NinjaTrader. And one is everything is launched from this control panel. And this control panel is basically where you launch everything, where you launch charts, where you add connections, where you look at your orders, all types of things. Okay. The most important thing to start with, once you've downloaded and installed it, is if you go into tools here and go down to options, there's a very, very specific and important checkbox you need to make sure you check. This will save you a lot of headaches. And that is, let me check, this would be right here, this multi-provider. Again, you go into tools and options, you go to general, and down here under preference, you go to multi-provider. And that will allow you to have multiple brokers. So you can have multiple brokers. So for example, if you want to connect, like I have my TD Ameritrade account connected, boom, check that box. I can also add my Coinbase account, check that box. I do subscribe to NinjaTrader's futures. So that little 14-day trial has worn off for me. So I now pay $12 a month, again, just for the data. We're in a simulated paper environment. But if I wanted to, I could switch to my actual real money TD Ameritrade account. So again, NinjaTrader has a lot of really cool features that weren't necessarily available to us. I do realize some of you guys are kind of in a holding pattern waiting for this technology to be built, and we're doing our best to get this updated and rolled out as quickly as possible. But we don't want to just hurry up and throw a whole bunch of garbage out in front of you and create a whole bunch of headaches for everyone. We want this to be a smooth experience. So once you've checked that box, tools, options again, and then go to multi-provider here, make sure you check that. What you can do now is go into connections, and you'll see here my Blusky account, my Blusky account is now connected, and I can add different accounts. I don't have my Coinbase account connected. That's tied to an RLT email that I'm no longer able to access. So I can't do the two-factor authentication to verify that and get it logged in here. Working on getting that resolved. But I am able to connect. And so in this case, I have Blusky. I'm connected here, right? So the next thing I can do is I can go into new and then chart. So I can go into a chart and I can say, you know what? I want to look at ES. ES is a futures contract. And I want to look at the E-mini S&P futures. Now, for those of you who have spent a whole lot of time and money learning how to trade on stocks, don't worry, you've not wasted your time. You do not need to throw it all away, all your stock knowledge away and start from scratch. I will tell you, as I've told several of you, 90% of what you learned, 90% of it will port over very, very nicely into futures. If you know how to read a chart, you're most of the way there already, okay? So in this case, we have ES at 15 minutes. I can click OK. And I do have some default setup here. And there we go. There is our very first ES chart. And this is on a 15-minute up here at the top. I can flip over to a 5-minute if I want to look at a 3-minute. Boom, easily I can flip and change and look at that, okay? Now, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do on this chart, lots of fun things. But let's say that I want to switch to something like a daily chart. Now, what you'll notice is on a daily chart, you'll notice that things are pretty much pushing higher, right? Ever since late October, early November. And you're like, Matt, I really want to see a moving average. How do I get a moving average? Well, that's easy. Great question. What you can do is go here to indicators, click this button. It looks kind of like a squiggly, like a 4-point line chart. And so what you want to do over here on the left is you want to find, by the way, I have tons of indicators. You want to click on EMA. You want to double click EMA, and that's going to put it down here in the configured. And what I'm able to do on the right here is now say, okay, I want a 10 EMA. And on this case, it's set up on a daily chart. And of course, I want to do it based on the bar close. And I want to click on this EMA over here. And instead of the goldenrod color, I don't know, maybe I want like a green, right? And maybe I want a width of 1, like a thickness of 1. Click OK, click apply, boom, there's my moving average. Now you can repeat the process, of course, if you want to have another multiple moving averages. Fairly easy to do. The one thing I do want to show you is how do I build a watch list? Well, the watch list, I haven't yet figured out a simple way to do it. But at the top, I do have some preferences and some favorites that I've already looked at and already set up, including Bitcoin, right? So I can switch to Bitcoin. I can switch to Tesla. Actually, I have some of these windows already set up here. And so here is a Tesla chart. And you're like, Matt, how the heck did you get an image? Which, by the way, team, in case you didn't know, everybody say hi to Greg. This is Greg right here. Hi, Greg. But he's making an appearance in our charts. How crazy is that, right? So you can set it up where you have a background image of a bot or of an image itself. So you can have a background image. And so what I'm able to do is there's all kinds of functionality and customizations I can do. As you guys see, I do have a background image here of Greg, and I can do black and white candles. I can do the traditional red and green. There's all types of things that you can customize. Again, at the top is kind of the easy, quick way to shift the asset you're looking at, the time frame. Maybe I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to do a 15-minute chart. Boom, flip over to a 15-minute chart. Maybe I want to add maybe I want to add something. Maybe I don't want the goldenrod color. Maybe I want a lime green, and I want a thickness of a 3, right? And click apply, click OK, boom. Now I got a thickness of 3. Now, what I want you guys to just all keep in mind is as we're going through this, there are some things that you guys will see a little differently than mine, because I did kind of set up my basics a little bit differently. So I've already taken some steps to customize this a little bit. But the cool part is from our control center, everything works from the control center. I'm able to launch and save workspaces. So if I have a favorite workspace, click save, I can launch a workspace. There's all types of things you can get into. We don't have time to go through everything. But again, new and chart is basically how you can launch a brand new chart on whatever ticker you want. And you guys can you just know that all of the assets you trade are based on the broker. So for example, if you're using a futures broker and for some reason you can't get Tesla to work, well, that is why, because the futures broker only has futures. So ES, NQ, like the traditional futures. But if you want to use your TD Ameritrade account and trade actual stocks, no problem with that. Again, the huge difference here between now and we'll say a month ago, the big difference is you can no longer trade stocks in a funded account. It's just a XNA for whatever reason. Long story, who knows the real reasons? There's always the reasons you're told, and then of course, as you guys know, there's the real reasons. So that's a couple of quick examples on how you can set up your charts. Just set up a new chart, add a basic indicator, and things like how do I place an order, all that. We'll get into that here in just a sec. But there's all types of things that you can customize on the chart itself. You can customize the chart itself. You can say, hey, I want lots of margin on the right. I don't want just 8 little candles. I want 50, right? I want more white space over here. There's all kinds of things that you can do here on the charts itself. And so again, there's a ton of things in here that we can get into. We haven't, here's your drawing tools. If you guys like to draw trend lines, you can do all that here. You can draw, you can play with this however you want, and you're able to configure this and change this pretty much. It's super powerful. This tool is super powerful. And again, we've chosen to kind of not go forward with DXTrader, even though that's what our funded account program, they kind of put us into DXTrader. The NinjaTrader 8 is far better platform for us for automation. Now, if you're like, Matt, I just want to do basic manual trading, traditional trading, there's nothing wrong with that. You can continue to use the DXTrader. However, in this case, for our purposes, we need more than what DXTrader can offer. And I actually had several conversations with them and their development team, even as early as a few hours ago. They just let us know, we have connections, but the whole way that the bots used to work in Ameritrade 5, they don't really have a solution for that. And they told me, quote, it'll be at least several months before we can even have those conversations. So as you guys can probably relate to the holding pattern, everyone's kind of waiting for new technology and new prop and some direction from us. And so again, you guys are able to do prop firm accounts today. It's not the push button branded. There's quite a few out there. And so what I want to do is take a quick pause and check in with you guys and look through some of these questions. I don't know, Harold, if you have that spreadsheet or not, but hang on to that and just get that link ready. But really
I threw it in the chat, Matt.
Okay, perfect. Recently? Okay, yeah. Okay, perfect. So is it possible to turn bots into indicators? Yes. Does it require a lot of coding knowledge? Yes. Does Matt DeLong have that in-house knowledge? No. As you guys know, I had never even opened NinjaTrader until about 2 or 3 weeks ago when all this stuff happened. So I myself, I'm not that familiar with the coding piece of this. I've learned quite a bit from working with our technology team that we've put together and the testing and all that. So, yep. Is there a YouTube on how to make NinjaTrader look and feel a lot like TradingView? Jeff, like how would it like they're two different platforms, so there's limitations on both. NinjaTrader 8 is a desktop installed where it lives on your desktop. TradingView is web-based where you access it through like Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. So I'm not quite sure. Oh, you're saying there is one. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you want to post it in here, that'd be great. DXTrader does have a connection to TradingView. Yes. But of course, it doesn't support any technology. It's all like old school manual. I feel like it's 2024 and just manually putting in orders is, well, to 2023. It's 2024, right? So I want to show you guys a few new things too that this does do. And again, you guys may notice a few buttons here on my chart. This is NinjaTrader, of course, and these buttons represent kind of the push button class that we teach. This is not the fully automated bots. These are the semi-automated bots. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of that here in a sec. But I want to see if you guys have a pretty good feel for launching charts, changing timeframes, adding some basic basic indicators, just getting familiar and comfortable with that as is. Because what we're going to do is we're going to throw out some orders. I'm going to show you a little bit more about the functionality of some of this and how this works. But I want to make sure before I jump to the next topic, do you guys have any questions? Go ahead and throw it in chat. I realize we got a pretty good sized group here. So just go ahead and let me know if you have any questions in chat. I'll do my best before I jump to the next. Thank you for sharing that, Jeff. Does anybody have Harold or not really anyone does anyone have experience with other accounts, funded account programs that they've used or can vouch for, have any kind of personal testimonial that they like relative to funded accounts? Doesn't have to be futures, but anything that works with NinjaTrader 8. I know Apex funding was an option. I have never used them, so I can't really say one way or another. And then Top Step was another one. Does anyone have any experience with either of those or any new accounts? Any other funded account type programs? What's up, Jackson? We got Dr. Joe in the house. Tish. Does anybody? Nobody has an account? Okay. Because the question that you guys are probably wanting to know is how can I go ahead and return to business as usual? And there's really two specific things just to address. One is if you rely on a funded account, you are a little limited to Michael, that's a good question. There's a few things we're trying. We actually did a call with NinjaTrader 8 yesterday, the actual team, Tracy Ball and I. We had a call with the team to clarify a few things that were a little murky for us. But the $99 is for, I think that's called the multi-provider tool, right? I forgot the terminology, but yeah. So when you talk about the monthly fee of Blusky, yes, it does include the data that's bundled. Absolutely. Yep. And keep in mind, team, when you do pay a monthly fee, I know it's not ideal to pay a monthly fee. You typically want to pay a one-time fee, but how many of you would rather pay $150 a month or $1,000 one time? Now, obviously, at some point you do the math, and at some point that 150 a month goes over 1,000. But once you get funded, a lot of these programs will actually refund your assessment fee back to you. Not all of them. Check the details when you sign up, which is something that is quite unheard of, right? And again, the whole reason there are monthly fees compared to one-time fees like the old, even the push button trading accounts, real life trading accounts, any of those that work with Think Markets, you pay a one-time fee, but the data feeds are free. So there's no actual like cost for the data feeds, right? And so as you have an ongoing monthly cost yourself, it only makes sense to have some kind of monthly fee to kind of cover that, right? Otherwise, you kind of get stuck paying for things that you're not collecting money on, right? And a lot of the accounts have their own different rules. Some of them you have to grow the account 8%, some of them are 12%. They do have a little bit different rules, of course. If you guys have some specifics you want us to research and do another call on, we'd be happy to. But I am curious if anyone else has had. I've heard of Apex. I've never actually used it myself. Blusky is the only one I've used, and I finally figured out how to even log into Blusky. They don't email you a password. They tell you where to go get the password. And if you miss that email, it's tough to figure out where to go and what to do. Yep. So Cliff, you've always wanted to, but I've been pretty scared I would blow it up. Are you talking about a funded account, Cliff? Is that what you're referring to? Well, would you rather blow up a funded account or your real money account? Pick one. Check yes or no, right? So the cool part about funded accounts, as you guys know, is it does require a little more work. But I feel like it's kind of a very limited risk. Whatever money you've paid for it, you can be as aggressive as you want. And you kind of avoid the whole conversations that I've had with people over the years where they said, you know what, I accidentally bought 2,500 shares of something instead of 250. And I'm just terrified to make another mistake and lose 10R in 4.8 seconds. And so the funded account, I believe, and I feel like is a really, really good option. The funded account program is a good option for beginners to kind of practice. And people have said they're a way to make very cheap or inexpensive mistakes. If you make a mistake and blow it up, no big deal. Like you paid 120 bucks or whatever. Now, keep in mind that monthly fee, 129. A lot of them sometimes they have specials running. So 129 a month or 169, 189, whatever it is a month. Again, for a 100K account, that actually makes a lot of sense. I'd rather pay that for 2 or 3 months to get an account funded than $1,000 one time. You guys can see the math of that. Of course, if you take if you take 7 years to get it funded, I don't know what happens, but you obviously pay more than $1,000. But a lot of them, when you blow up account, you do have to pay a reset fee. So you're still paying, you're still paying, but you just pay a one-time reset fee. Usually 99 bucks. It's not a lot. And then once you get, just like most of the other accounts, once you get it funded and you have some profits, you do this thing called requesting a payout. And you request a payout and you say, hey, I want to withdraw X number of dollars from my gains. And if it's a 90-10 split, you get 90%, they keep 10. If it's a 75-25, you get 75. They get the 25, right? That's kind of how that works. So Harold has a link there for prop firm match. Yep. And again, the cool part about this platform, just like MetaTrader 5, is in this case, you're not actually trading CFDs. That's the big thing that caused all this. For those of you, I've seen lots of chatter. I get the screenshots from different communities. The idea that, oh my gosh, CFDs are illegal in the US, is that true or not? Actually, it is true. However, when we set up all of these accounts, we got a lengthy 23-page legal opinion saying that how this offshore account that we have set up to kind of a workaround loophole was 100% legal. And if anyone wants to see the document, I'll share the link here in a minute. We've had many people ask for that, like, Matt, why are you even offering this if it was like a big no-no for US customers? We got a legal opinion saying the way it's structured is sound. I actually requested that on numerous occasions and I wanted an update every single year just to make sure that this, of course, worked in 2022. It's valid in 2023 and it's still valid in 2024, right? And so again, it is what it is. We're here now. The one thing we didn't expect with NinjaTrader was we did not really anticipate them kind of souring on US customers. Obviously, it's the most, I think they have like 15 million users, and NinjaTrader has over 1 million, so not quite as big, but significant users. And NinjaTrader just, was there, and they provide everything we need. So it was a kind of an easy decision to migrate, but it does require us to build all the technology from scratch. This is not a slight update where we're fixing a slight bug. This is a rebuild the house from scratch kind of a moment. This isn't a rehab. This is a do-over. And again, it's not anyone's fault. Whether or not MetaTrader, or the company behind MetaTrader, is Russian based, whether it's political, maybe not, I don't know. As you guys know, the US and Russia doesn't have the best relationship at the moment with the stuff happening in Ukraine and us providing weapons to their enemies. So I don't know, maybe there's some regulations, somebody's getting squeezed somewhere. At the end of the day, I guess the reasons don't matter. We're here now and we're looking for ways to go forward and continue. So go ahead and hit me with whatever questions you guys have in chat. Go ahead and type it in chat so you guys aren't talking over each other. What other questions you guys have for me? And I'm going to show you a few more things while we're here. Questions. If you guys don't ask me hard questions, I'm going to start asking Harold hard questions, or Billy or Brian. I'm going to start asking some hard questions to you guys. Matt, do you have a question? Matt Johnson.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to unmute.
Yeah, no worries. It's all good. Oops. What other questions you guys have? Go ahead and type it in chat. Is there a difference between a firm with real shares versus CFD? Yes. So just so you guys know, most prop firms trade CFDs, right? So if you're a prop firm, you're trading CFDs. The big problem is going forward is my team and I felt like if we keep just switching every time they, and I asked the question, by the way, is this what the real story behind switching from ACAP was? Is this the real thing? And they said, no, that has its own, its own reasoning, which, okay, fine. But there are no options for prop firms with shares. Now, what I've heard happens, and I don't really know, but the CFD part is very easy for prop firms because it's lots of asset classes all in one place, right? It's crypto, it's oil, it's metal, it's gold, it's silver, it's stocks, it's, fill in the blank. It's all kinds of things all in one package, and it makes it super easy to distribute to your customers. Now, if you can imagine, otherwise, if you didn't have that type of a distribution, what else would you have to do? Well, you'd have to have a Coinbase account, you'd have to have TD Ameritrade account, you have to have an Interactive Brokers account, you have to have a futures account. You have to have a whole bunch of separate things all together, and being able to offer them all in a single package is a very huge, it's a very attractive way to set it up. Of course, that's for prop firms. The difference between, Michael, is a CFD. There is a difference. Yes. CFDs are contracts for difference. I don't really know the technical differences, but at the end of the day, the US regulators do not want US traders trading them. And that's why they're forbidden. So if you know anything about how politics work, what they're really saying is we haven't figured out how to tax it, so we're going to make it illegal. Now, of course, as you know, we can probably expect an oxygen tax for breathing a certain amount of oxygen in a few years. I'm kidding. I'm being sarcastic. So we aren't going to give them the politicians, any ideas to tax us more on things that we use on a regular basis. But is there a difference between a firm? I don't know about a firm with real shares that offers a prop firm. What I'm really saying here is if you want to trade shares, the only way to do that with automation, like actual Tesla, NVIDIA, actual shares, is now in an actual brokerage account with Interactive Brokers, probably going forward, and NinjaTrader as the software platform. Does that make sense? So it's not that you can't trade stocks with automation. The difference is if you depend on and require a funded account, that funded account option for stocks has kind of left the building for now, for the time being. Yeah. Okay, Harold, Matt, is there a prop firm that stands out as a better choice? Yeah, there's the three that we've mentioned. Apex is really, it's the one, I would say it's third on the list. Blusky, Top Step are top 1 and 2. I've actually met the guys, the team behind Top Step. They're a super cool guy. I met them in Chicago in 2019. Super nice guys. Yeah, they're they've been around for some years. Yep. Is there an advantage of one over the other? Michael, you talking about the CFD versus real? Is that what you're asking about? Maybe clarify for me. Yep. Was this the, yep. Okay, so CFDs for stocks are not available anymore to US traders. The thing that was so upsetting to us, to our team, was we spent 18 months building this technology, and literally in 24 hours they moved us to a platform that doesn't even support our own technology, right? um in in entrepreneur terms, they call that a pivot. Well, I'm an OG old school original gangster, right? And we used to call that a near death experience. Now we can have a cutesy where it's called a pivot. But I'm not worried about big huge changes very quickly in your face, hold my, earth shattering. I have a lot of experience with chaos and crisis management and all kinds of stuff, startup companies, legal, all kinds of stuff. So I'm not intimidated by that. A lot of people are easily scared away, but I like crazy. I like chaos. Some people on my team would say I actually thrive in chaos, which is a little odd. But yeah, that's the short answer there. So what is this estimated start date for March class? So just to clarify, I think you're asking about the bot trading, not necessarily the push button. The push button we are teaching right now. We're redoing our classes. I'm supposed to have an automated bot in my inbox for NinjaTrader. I was told Wednesday, maybe it's going to be tomorrow, Friday, but it might be a little bit delayed, about a week, Dave. I'll reach out to you and the few people who have signed up for April. We're just trying to get some idea of how this how it works in the back testing, how all that works a little bit before we. Yeah, my pleasure. Before we like, oh, here's how it works. I very much dislike the model of you're paying me to learn alongside you. I don't really like that. I feel like if I'm going to teach it, I need to know it well enough to be able to answer your questions and help you guys get unstuck. Right. It doesn't necessarily mean I need 17 years of experience first, but I'm not, I'm not learning it as we go. I've practiced and spent enough time in here to kind of lead the way. Now, obviously, I don't have as much experience in NinjaTrader that I did in Ameritrade because I spent years in that. NinjaTrader is still, up and coming, and we're still getting to understand the platform a bit. But having joined, we got an application in with NinjaTrader to be an official like partner. So they're going to, they got some cool stuff that we're planning with them. So, let's see. I think no taxing and also Wall Street influence to stop retail traders. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why politicians do what they do, or why they require certain things. I don't know. You know what? Can I rant for a sec? A lot of times these quote unquote investments are considered what? They're considered risky, right? So let's just take a quick poll. I wonder if I can launch an actual poll in here. I think I have to build it ahead of time. Yeah, I do. But if I was to put 50,000 into CFDs, what is the odds that'll be worth more than zero in 30 days? High or low? Go ahead and put your answer. High or low? Is a high or low probability if I invested $50,000 in an account trading CFDs, it'd be worth more than zero, right? Maybe I lose some, right? Okay. Now the reason they say that is very, very risky. Okay. Now what if let's take the other side of this coin. What if I put $50,000 into another investment that is considered legal, that's not considered risky, and that is $50,000 in the lottery? That's not considered risky. Why is that? Like, you guys, you see my point? Like, how are you even like thinking through this? How is I can literally go buy $50,000 worth of lottery tickets. That's not considered risky, but 50,000 in a CFD, that's risky. You guys see my point? It's like, how in the world, like how did they come up with these rules? I don't know. We got some numbnuts out there, but it is what it is, and we're trying to work with. Well, of course, they tax the lottery. Of course, that's the short answer. That's why it's nothing to do with risk, and everything to do with how can I make money off the thing that that you're doing. That's it is a huge revenue. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So same thing with crypto. I'm sure they're going to find a way to, they tax your gains, but I'm sure they're going to find a way to, who knows? Yep. Yep. And also think about it, like the carbon credits that let's say transportation companies like airplanes, airlines, they have to buy credits. So it's like it's okay to pollute, but only if you pay tax on it. It's like, help me understand how that helps the environment. Like, oh, as long as I'm paying a tax on the pollution, that's okay. It's I don't know. I'm gonna stop there. I'm getting carried away. So yep. What other questions you guys have for me? Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you some things. Otherwise, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into let's hop into a 3-minute chart over here on Tesla. And I'm gonna click the zoom button right here. We're gonna draw a box around, zoom. There we go, a box around our chart here. And I wanna explain a little bit how the push button actual, again, semi-automated bot, how that works, because it does work a little differently than maybe you think, okay? So it has a few different things, and what you'll see is the lines on my chart are shifting. You guys see that? It's shifting, bullish, bearish, and there's 2 toggles for breakout and reversal. And what you're seeing here is what we call the preview button, which means it's showing you a preview of where it's going to throw out an order, okay? So it's always going to look at, it's going to ignore the current candle. So it's going to, where's my drawing tool? It's going to ignore this candle, and it's going to play this candle. Why? Well, as you guys know, the market is closed right now, but normally this candle, the last candle on the right, still wiggling around. So it's going to play the previous candle. Okay. And what you're seeing, this little blue line, this little at symbol, this is the where it's going to buy. It's going to buy when it breaks above. Okay. And what you'll see up here is a green line. It's a little bit light, and this is considered my take profit. Okay. My take profit up here, my entry here, and my stop loss is this little red line down here. Now, what it's doing when I click the button, it's giving a preview into where my order is going to go. And then guess what button I'm going to click to make the orders go? Click the go button. Now, at this moment, of course, stock market's closed, so I'm not going to get filled on anything, right? It's probably going to reject the order because the market is closed. But you guys can understand, right? And so a bullish breakout is part of the push button trading, part of the technology that we have that we're able to teach, and we're able to kind of help people with the semi-automated fumble and bumble of order entry. Now, those of you who've ever done any kind of education where you had to manually put in an order and calculating your risk and all that, maybe you use a calculator, maybe use a spreadsheet. This does away with all of that. Because why? Because it's 2024, ladies and gentlemen. Duh. Right. So like bullish breakout, what it means is we're going to get a break above. So if any of you guys have used the 10 EMA, of course, any popular strategies out there, you're waiting for a bearish candle closing above. So we would, wait for an entry there and a break above, right? And we'd be in bullish. And so what the bullish breakout does is it means we're going to get above this candle, a stop down here, and a target price up here. So the question is, how does it know to put the stop right here? Well, it's going to play this. This is considered the signal candle, and there's a setting where you can have a percentage. So like 0.002%. It's 0.002% of $180.60. And so what we're able to do is we're able to say $180.60 times 0.002, and that is 36 cents. So what does that mean? It means we're not going to put the stop at the absolute low entry here waiting for a break above. What we're going to do is we're going to give it a 36-cent of padding. So instead of putting the stop right there, we're going to lower it right here. Again, these are all settings you can control inside of the technology. And then the question is, okay, if that represents 1 R of risk, how can we decide on our take profit? Well, that is another setting that is considered 1.2 R. It is a setting. And so what I can do is I can disable this real quick and show you guys. I'm going to disable it, click apply. I'm going to show you the settings that come with this. One of these is your profit taker, 1.2 R, 1.3 R, 1.4 R, right? Easily. And so what you do is you determine what your profit taker is. You set it on the chart, boom. And now once the trade is already in place, you can adjust the stop, the take profit or the stop loss. You can drag those lines, very easy. Then your stop loss padding is a percentage. So Michael, the pips piece is of course related to forex. We're actually updating this version this weekend, where we're going to have a little bit more flexibility in this. We're going to get rid of the percentage, and we're going to have like tick values or pips or something like that, that we're going to go to 1.93 over the weekend, finish that. And so it's a little more flexible for other assets. This, of course, we used a lot on Tesla and other stocks for the most part. And in this case, we're going to adjust it because in the CFD world, there are no pips for forex, right? There is an actual forex, but not CFD forex. So same thing about that, was we're able to update this over the weekend, make some changes. We're going to change how the padding works over the weekend. Yep. Got teams of peeps working on that. Okay. Now, the other thing that this does do is cancel after. So imagine you put out a trade and 5 candles have come and gone, and you're not in a trade. Well, I want to cancel it automatically after X number of candles. Well, that's what the 5 is. It defaults to 5. So a lot of these risk is in dollars. So $1,000 of risk. Maximum lot size depends on if you're using futures, you have contract max, maybe a mini e-minis or micros, you have maximum lots. And I just realized we have a typo. Maximum. You guys know that's a word? And so whatever your maximum that you're allowed to trade, you would throw that in there and that would auto calculate it. Okay. Now, when it comes, Peter, to back testing, there is a market replay feature that I have not, we do have one little glitch we're trying to resolve this weekend as well, but you will be able, just like in MetaTrader 5, to go back in time. And again, this is not necessarily automated bots. This is semi-automated. So those of you who prefer discretionary trading, this technology will literally build the orders for you. Okay. Now, what you will notice is my EMA went away when I disabled that. Why did it do that? Well, because it's actually tied into the bot itself, right? So I'm going to enable it, apply it, put it on the chart, and yes, okay, boom, there we go. My EMA is back, right? And so this is part of the technology that we've built. This was kind of the proof of concept. The push button was not nearly as complex as the other automated bots. It was a fairly low-hanging fruit to kind of start on this one at a time. We do have different guys working at different teams, working on different bots. But again, these buttons, bullish or bearish, right? So if you have a 10 EMA, you're going to use the bearish breakout for a bullish trade, bearish for the bearish trades, bullish for the bullish. The opposite of that, of course, is reversals. And that's basically where you're saying, this is a bullish reversal. I want to buy only when it breaks lower, and then I want it to reverse and go higher and hit my green line being our take profit. Down here is my stop loss. So those are the 4 basic things. These alone aren't necessarily strategies. We do teach these strategies in class. We do have a few specific strategies that we teach related to hammer candles, related to indecision, and a unique trend trading strategy in and of itself. But strategy performance obviously is going to depend on what buttons you're clicking, what strategy you're using, what you're trading, but you are able to go back in time. Now, for those of you, I'm curious, for those of you on here, how many of you guys would consider yourself to be a new trader? Let's say 6 months or less. Go ahead and type a 1 into the chat pane. You're 6 months or less. So Becky, so 1 person. Okay. Billy, what's up? No, I don't know if you're a new trader, Billy. Okay. I'm going to put a 1 then too. So the order calculation, right? Like how to get your orders in, how to do all that. We literally do all the work for you. That's what these buttons do. And you do see a preview of it. You click go and you're able to, there you go, submit the order. Boom. And then you guys will see that I've got 1,000 shares I want to buy. I don't have any filled just yet, and none of them are filled. It is submitted. And so in this case, because it's a bearish breakout, what I'm waiting to happen is I'm waiting for a lower move, right? With a stop loss down here. Yep. I rejected it. Yep. There we go. So because it's closed. So market is closed. So any questions on that? That's basically what the push button is. Again, all the fully automated bots are forthcoming. We're supposed to have had some stuff a few days ago. We're working through some of the things where our team's getting a little bit stuck on understanding some of these kind of the concepts of how some of this is supposed to work, but we're working through it. Yeah. And so thank you for your patience. What else? What other questions you guys have for me? Was this helpful? Because I think your questions are, what are the next steps, Matt? What are my next steps? What should I be doing? And that is a great and amazing question. And I'm going to answer that. What are your next steps? Well, we do have another in our community. We do have some more free events, free intro to NinjaTrader. That's obviously this one. We in a few days we do have intro to funded accounts. So RT3 is going to go through some of these that you guys have asked about. I do have a TED talk coming up where I'm going to give you guys a preview of that, Learning to Dream Again. This is a story of my software experience going back 12 years ago, going through lots of craziness, including being sued, death threats, all the fun things you guys can imagine being the CEO of a software company that just got hacked by a 250,000 credit card numbers being stolen. Of course, fun times. I'm going to tell my my process, how I learned to bounce back, practical tips to dream again. We do have a free intro to options class that's coming up that's being taught. And then I'm teaching a personal finance class here. Again, all of these events are free. The only catch is you have to be a member of the community, which means if you're not a member of the community, it's not free. You got to be in the cool kids club. Okay. And there is one other announcement I did want to make. I am curious, how many of you guys would consider yourself to be maybe an intermediate options level? Go ahead and put a 7 into the chat if you are an intermediate options. I'll put 7 in. You know what calls and puts are. You know your way around, right? So a few of you, Peter, Jeff, okay. Anyone else? So Jeff, yeah, the other Jeff, Dave. Okay, awesome. What would you say if I told you that in April, literally 3 weeks away, in April, we're going to have a class, a mentor group taught by the one and only RT3 on how to automate option trades like credit spreads. So not just credit spreads, but automated credit spreads. This is not a theory. This is not a concept. This is something RT3 himself has been doing for a while. We spent a lot of time talking about it a week and a half ago in Colorado, and my wife and I were there hanging out with him and his wife, of course, hitting the slopes, doing some backflips, all the fun things you do on the slopes. I'm kidding about the backflips. But yeah, how crazy would that be? If any of you guys are interested in that, reach out to RT3 in the community. He's got you can DM him. And so what we're trying to do is we also have, we do have one more event that is coming up, and that is over here. If anyone is interested in learning more about how the futures trade, this is our very first premium event. It is very, very expensive. It is $150. Now, for those of you who are a premium community member, for you, it's free. For if you're in the basic community, it is a one-time $150. So you do have to click the link to join. And so a lot of the things, again, that you guys learn in stocks is not throwaway. I wasted my time. 90% of it's portable, but there are some differences with tick size and value and the different assets and the micros and the minis. There's a few things you need to kind of fill in the blank with that other maybe 10% of knowledge that is specific to futures, right? Now, keep in mind, if you trade stocks and you don't trade stocks anymore in a funded account, things like earnings dates, you don't need to worry about them anymore because that's not a thing, right? But there are some other things you do need to pick up and learn in order to be knowledgeable and work with the futures trading. Again, NinjaTrader is kind of designed for futures. It does have lots of things, including automation, including options, including all types of stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to marry all the things you want with trading, with oils, funded accounts, futures, metals, gold, pips, forex, and automation and options, trying to marry all that together. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Again, if you're interested in the automated trading class, reach out to RT3. It will be a limited time, very first edition, where I believe he's offering some incentives to get people signed up. So yeah, reach out to him, DM him. It is going to be exciting. I myself am going to I'll be the first to sign up for it myself. He showed me some really cool stuff that you can do. And a lot of it does work with a tool that he found that he uses. And he has a tasty trade brokerage. Again, that's slightly different than, it's not a funded account type thing. It is a real money brokerage account. And it works with Tastyworks. So yeah, cool stuff. Even if you don't have a Tastyworks account, you can put $100 in one, open one in a few days, easy to do. So lots of cool stuff coming, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to marry all the things you want with some automation, some technology. Why? For this 2024, let's go. Let's use some things to our advantage. So any final questions you guys have, let me know. Otherwise, that's what I have for. Let's see. Ken, before you end, can you please answer my question? I'm sorry, I missed it. Let's scroll up. Hey there from Australia. Yep. You would talk about the bots first from the coming level. Okay. Sorry, Ken. Yeah, I got a little bitty window. So so those of you who've taken the fully automated bot class, what we're going to do is, because we're having to spend big bucks on rebuilding this, we are offering it. If you want to join the premium community, $150 a month to join the premium. And you guys have some of these free classes that we've already talked about, like the futures trading class. And so we're offering the updates when they're available, as they come available, for $150 a month. Our original timeline is delayed about a week and a half. What we're trying to do is launch a new bot, starting with Orb, Snapback, 10 EMA, and in our 7. And what we're going to do is we're going to offer those as they come available every 7 to 10 days. If you want to wait a couple months, let them all come out and join when they're all ready, certainly can do that. What I don't necessarily want to do is give you guys updates on a new platform you don't know how to use, and then I'm going to be overwhelmed with lots of questions. And that's why we need to help you understand how to use this. We're not necessarily teaching the class again from scratch, but what we are doing is we are offering $150. And if you think that's a lot, I can show you some receipts. If you want to see what a lot of technology cost is, we can trade. You pay my bills and I'll pay you the 150. But I feel like it's more than fair for what we're trying to do. We're not trying to reteach everything from scratch. I know there was probably about a third of the people who struggled from 8-cap to Think Markets. That was a challenge. They're switching out a broker, trying to make that migration. And this is a start from scratch type of thing. It's not a little bug fix. This is a massive redo. This is not a rehab. This is a build from scratch, burn it down and start all over kind of a thing. So that's why we're making a distinction. This is not an update. This is a redo. And so that's kind of what we're offering. So I don't know if that makes sense. Yep. Cool. All right. Ken, what should you do about your investment you already made? What is your question? I'm not sure what you're saying. What should you do with it? Like the class you already took, you mean? I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but DM me if you have any further questions. Otherwise, team, I am right at my time. Hello to everyone from Australia joining us. We are wrapping up. All right, team. Love y'all. Reach out if you have any questions. And again, keep an eye on those events. We are rolling out a couple, 3, 4, or 5 events for free in our basic community. And we do have some more premium events coming on and some mentor groups. Like I mentioned, the automated bot trading with options, AKA and credit spreads, coming to you starting in April. Reach out to RT3 in our community in the DM. We had some pretty exciting conversations about that in the last couple of days. So love y'all. Reach out if you have any questions. Thanks. Have a great day.